Hey guys, just want to take a minute here at the beginning of this show just to let you know I got an exciting announcement here. Uh, Long time coming, but I'm finally putting together a virtual summit. It's the Self Storage Virtual Summit. What is a virtual summit? Basically, it's like a conference, but hey, it's online. So, anyway, I'm going to have a lot more information coming about it. Getting all the speakers lined up right now. It's just getting the ball rolling. So, if you want to watch and follow and get updates on how this is all coming together, all the updates on the speaker lineup. It's going to be amazing. Okay, it's going to be fun. So go to the selfstoragesummit.com. Again, the selfstoragesummit.com. Just a quick landing page. Just put in your email address there, opt in, and that will just allow me to send you updates as things go along. Get you again the speaker announcements, what's coming up as things move on, and of course, ultimately, how you can participate and register for it. So, anyway, go to that domain again, theselfstoragesummit.com. Get signed up, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks a lot, guys. Today's storage spotlight, I have Tron Jordheim on. Let's just call this a reality check.
The big question is this: how are those in the self-storage industry like us going to be successful in today's market? That's the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Jim Ross, and welcome to the Self-Storage Show.
Hi, everyone. This is Jim Ross and the Self Storage Show. Today's episode, we're going to continue the Storage Spotlight series. I got Tron Jordheim back on. How's it going?
Good, Jim. How you doing?
Good, good. Normally I give like a intro and a title, but you have too many titles, so I'll let you give us a little intro and a little bio up about yourself here.
Well, I've had a lot of fun in the storage business the last 20 years. I've done a little bit of everything. I've run call centers. I've managed management companies. I've done sales training. I've done keynote speaking in, I don't know, 5, 6 countries. Done just about a little bit of everything in the storage business. It's been a lot of fun, and it's always fun to talk storage. Talking shop's a lot of fun. And if anybody knows me, I can get a long story going. So you got to kind of wind me back sometime. So
That's all right. I told you, like, I'll keep an eye on the clock and then I'll cut you off. So
excellent.
I got to get on that. Some of those international speaking gigs. That sounds pretty fun.
It's amazing. You get to make friends all over the world, and you get to talk about some things, and of course it makes you stretch your mind because you try to apply the lessons you've learned in a particular place and put them somewhere else. And
Yeah.
and sometimes even the subtle cultural differences are enough to really make you have to stop a minute, scratch your head.
It's been fun. I mean, just doing this show and having this kind of platform. Um, I've been getting reached out from a lot from the UK,
Nice.
China, a lot in Australia. It's kind of fun just seeing how it's global. It's not just a US thing.
Yeah, people got stuff everywhere, brother.
We all got crap. Yeah.
No, it's stuff. It's stuff. Well, my crap is stuff. Your stuff may be crap.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Anyway,
Sorry, Carlin people. I've had to borrow that. So
well, we always have something to chat about, topics and things like that. So I reached out to you to have you come back on. And you mentioned, quick topic to talk about is some of the things that, well, maybe things that you can't fix. I know you've been around for a lot of people. People come to you about all sorts of different things. So I want to it's a unique topic. So I just want to kind of chat about that for a little bit.
well, Jim, when people talk to us, you've been in the storage game for a couple generations, right? So
A little bit.
people
Yeah.
people come talk to us about stuff, and they think we can fix anything, right? They'll show us a property and say, here's a great property. I can buy it, cheap. I can get it less than replacement cost. It's only X dollars a foot, X dollars a unit, or whatever. And then you start looking at it and you go, yeah, there's some things you can't fix. Yes, Jim can come in, Tron can come in. We can fix all kind of stuff, but there's things you can't fix. If you don't have drive-by traffic, you can't fix that problem.
You don't have a magic wand?
No, not unless you got a friend at the city who can help you reroute traffic or, build a new artery coming to your side street or something. You cannot fix that. And I've had people tell me, oh, it's okay with the internet. You know, I can just be good on the internet and I can drive people without the drive-by traffic. And I tell them, hold on, because yes, I understand something like 70% of your business comes from people on their mobile phones. But something like 70% of your mobile phone searches come from people who've driven by your place or walked by your place. So
Yep.
you can't drive the internet traffic without the drive-by traffic. So that's one thing you cannot fix. So if anybody out there is watching and you think, well, you know, car count isn't that great, but there's no but to that. You can't fix that one,
Yep.
right?
I just had a conversation with someone just recently that pretty good visibility, but to get to us is a whole nother story. But that's some age. You got to leave a trail of breadcrumbs to find out where you came from.
Right.
But at least we do have the visibility at first. But you're exactly right, because you see the sign, you see that, and then that prompts the searching on the cell phone. So yeah, it's a double whammy if it's hard to find and you can't be seen.
Yeah, and then I've had other people, they've got maybe busy car count, but the way their street is set up, it's impossible to get there from the other side of traffic. You've only got to right in, right out.
Yep.
But then I'm sorry, you've got to cut your traffic in half when you're doing your projections, because all the people on the other side of the street, why even count them? They can't get to you. They got to go 4 blocks down, turn around and come back. So you got to think about that one. And the visibility that you bring up is another great one, because the visibility without the ability to get to it, that's tough. That's tough, right?
Oh yeah, personal story. I mean, we're talking about, been around for a while. When I got into storage, I was the manager at a couple locations, and one of them I was actually lived on at the property.
Yeah.
And this was in Salt Lake City back when we got the Olympics, and they were changing all the streets, and there were all sorts of construction was going on to prepare for it. My site name was called A1 Access Storage. So you think, hey, that's going to be great access.
Yes.
No, you could find us, but to get to us, you had to go literally 33rd. That would be 14 blocks
Oh,
down a frontage
that's a kiss of death.
down a frontage road to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a time when, demand outpaced supply by, crazy ratios where you could get away with that because there was no other place within 50 blocks maybe, right?
You do no wrong. Yeah. Yep.
Do that now. The other thing people think they can fix is population, right? Sometimes people come in and say, well, there's only 10,000 people in my 3-mile ring, but, it'll work because there's not a lot of competition there. Well, you can't run a storage business without people. If you don't have population, who's going to come store with you? And if you are slightly wrong in your cultural assumptions and you think, well, people in this town are going to use storage the same way people in this town use it, and you're off a little bit, if you don't have the population to support you, oh, brother, that's painful.
How many studies come across your desk where you see people that are hedging their bets on population growth? It's not
Oh,
yet.
yes.
It's not yet, but it's
Yes.
coming. It's coming. I can see it,
Right, it's coming. It's coming.
It scares me to death.
Yeah, I need rentals. If we're purchasing the property, I need rentals the day
Wow. Yep.
they hand us the key, right? Yes, sure, I'll need rentals in 5 years, but I need them that day too. So that's tough.
Yep.
That's a tough one. Can't fix that one.
I see that more often than not. I mean, great for them to kind of see the projections and then trying to capitalize on a good opportunity, but man, that's kind of risky.
That's scary.
Yep.
That is scary. The we're in the path of progress thing. Well, a lot of us learned in 2008 that sometimes progress stops and it doesn't come your way.
Mhm.
So, and we're at a place now where there's so much supply in so many markets. You got to be extra careful. You got to look at stuff you never looked at before. You've got to really look at a neighborhood and go. What I say is, go beyond the feasibility study. Yes, if it looks positive on paper, great. Go live in the market for a while. feel it out, because there may be things going on there that make you say, yes, this is an opportunity, or other things that will make you say, I'm walking, see ya.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of times I kind of figure if there's not one there already. Well, there might be a reason why. You're
Right.
you're not that smart. So.
Oh, oh yeah. So, you see those things plenty of times, and then people ask you to, well, you can work with that. Well, we can make a property as good as that property can be, but without drive-by traffic and without population, you only got so much you can do.
Yep. And
You can only go so far.
I'm just curious. I mean, because the numbers always change. I know it's sites a little bit different, but there's a total insider question I have myself for drive-by.
Right.
Just curious, like what kind of percentage are you seeing that still are? Because again, it's still very very important. But if you had to put a percentage on it, what do you think so far as drive-by as a traffic for
How
getting
important is drive-by compared to everything else?
yeah, like percentage of
I
rentals.
still like that 70% number. I still think 70% of your business is heavily influenced or totally influenced by people passing you by on the street.
Yep. I mean, it's such a again storage is that 3 mile, 5 mile if you're lucky, but such a centralized market. Yeah, you can't just overlook that drive-by. And I hear the same thing as far as like, well, it's still so important just to be found on the phone. Great, that's it. No, I'm in your camp as far as no drive-by it's way too important to overlook.
Well, and I think people are set in their travel habits, right? They go the same way to work, school,
Yeah,
grandma's house, whatever. They go the same way all the time. And if they've got to go off of that route, it's a change, it's a stressor. So if they can stay on their normal routes and still do business with you, it makes sense, right? So even if they don't drive by you, if they're looking at you online and see your pin and go, yeah, I don't really know where that is. It's only like 3 blocks from where I usually go, but I don't really know where it is. Now I'm unsure about you, right? And people are creatures of habit like that. I think
yeah.
makes a difference.
Is there anything else that pops up as far as things that you can't change? As far as drive-by, you can't change that. Unless you can pick up
Well, other things you can't
population
fix,
growth.
the footprint, right? You can't fix that, right?
Sure.
Because if all you can fit on this property is 400 units, you have a ceiling. You are never going to get past 400 times whatever your rental rate is. You're never going to get past that. And so to look at performers over time and see that you have constant growth, constant growth, constant growth, well, maybe you can get that from rental increases and things like that. But at a certain point, you can only multiply everything times 400. You're stuck.
Yep.
So, you got to boil that into the soup when you're making it, right? And we've walked away from some nice deals. You're like, this is really nice. We can get it at somewhat of a reasonable rate, because I don't know anyone who's buying anything right now where they say I can get it reasonable, right? But you can get it at a place where you can live with it.
Yep.
But your growth is capped, right? So we've looked at some of those, said we like them, but there's no way to grow it past year 2, 3, 4, or whatever. Then we're done.
Yep. Just
Doesn't make sense. Can't fix that.
Yep.
Can't fix that.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you've seen. Again, people kind of fall in love with a site like, oh, this is going to be fantastic, but like you just said, it just doesn't pencil out because at a certain point,
right?
If you can't magically either build more units on top of each other, or you can't expand, it's going to plateau. At a certain point. And I hate being the bearer of bad news sometimes with people. They're like, oh, this is it. This is where I'm going, and they fall in love with it. I'm like, well. Yeah, it's not gonna work,
Right.
Just
So why do they fall in love with it though, right? That's a big question sometimes they can't answer. And I think a lot of times it comes down to because they can do the deal, right? So the other thing that's maybe not things you can't fix, but just because you can do the deal doesn't mean you should do the deal. Just because someone's willing to sign the note and they're ready to go, that doesn't mean you should do the deal. People sometimes come and say, I've got this all financed, I got it all figured out. And then you look at it and you think, yeah, but what about this? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about this? What about that? You go, the deal's done. I've got this. I've got the note. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. No.
Okay.
And in their mind, it's already a done deal. And yeah, sometimes you have to be the wet blanket to come on and bring it back to reality on some things.
Right. And I know people love, Warren Buffett or whatever, right? And sure, he's in the position where he can say no to 99.9% of the things that come his way. But, one of the things he'll tell you is, super successful people say no to a lot of opportunities because they're not quite right, or the risk profile is not what they want, that sort of thing. And then we see a lot of people, because we talk to some smaller investors sometimes too. They're taking a personal guarantee on these projects, right?
Yep.
Ouch.
And that's why we're kind of even talking about this, not to be all doom and gloom about these kind of things you can't fix, but you're seeing it, I'm seeing it in this market. People are almost having to find sites that they're trying to make it fit, quite frankly, because the deals are hard to come by. They really they have been for the prices they're going for. It's hard to find a good deal. So some of these guys are not say settling, they're just trying to make things fit that just don't. So that's why we're bringing this up, guys. Not just be all doom and gloom, but we just want to point these facts out of.
That's right.
Trying to make it look on paper and you think it's a great site. Yeah, there's just some things you just can't fix. So make sure you're still sticking with reality of the situation here. So.
Well, and we'll go out sometimes and do a reality check for people, right? Where they think it's positive, and then we'll go out and take a look, and then afterwards, sometimes we'll say, man, this is awesome. And a lot of times it's because of how they've got the financing set up, or how the property was acquired or something, so that they've got some built-in advantages that make everything work. And you think, wow, after we did our reality check, this is nice. This is going to work. And then sometimes you do the reality check and you come back and go, I just don't see it. Right. But on the positive side, there's so many ways you can run a property now, and so many ways you can watch a property, and so many tools you can use, that deals that wouldn't have worked 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or wouldn't have been interesting 5 or 10 years ago, you can still make them work.
Yeah, touch upon that. I mean, we got a few more minutes here. I'm curious. Now we've kind of painted the doom and gloom picture. Let's just give people a little.
All right, let's go to the other side.
Glimmer here of hope of like, okay, now it's what are some things that we can do that, like I said, tools that weren't around years ago that we can use now that give us a little bit of an advantage.
So, the internet of everything makes life simple, right? So you can watch your access control cameras from your fishing boat, right? You can rent units to people while they're sitting at home looking at their smartphones, watching sports or whatever. I mean, with the automation that's available, you can do so many things that you couldn't do before, either at some sort of scale, or you couldn't do them without a lot of people time. Automated collections right now. I mean, when we started doing those some years back, man, I'm sure you saw that too. After running the first couple automated programs a few months, you went, oh my gosh, my life is different.
Why did we ever do this manually? Yep.
This is great. So you got all those kinds of things that are available to you. And, some of the neat automated access control systems. And I'm not saying you should run out and make, every unit on your property a smart unit, but you can make your gate smart. You can make your payment processing smart. I mean, there's so many things you can do that make your property more efficient, that add some value to your customer's experience, so you can continue to grow your rental rates. That all makes some of these deals work, where maybe, some years back you thought, well, the ceiling's too low. Now maybe that ceiling isn't too low. Now, maybe you have to go a little smaller to get to too low of a ceiling. Mm-hmm. So it makes it interesting.
Yep. I mean, all the tools you just mentioned, just kind of comes back to convenience. To me, it's manager convenience and efficiency. Well, probably efficiency is a better way to put it. All these efficiencies are built in that help round out the edges of a site that may otherwise will be at a disadvantage at some places. So
Yeah.
I just had a conversation again a few weeks back with a guy that took over a site that's just kind of on the outskirts, and he was just kind of fighting for every single rental he could, and he had the mentality of trying to discount every single rental. That's just
Mm-hmm.
you know compete, that kind of thing. And we had that same kind of conversation you just talked about of just kind of the things that are out there now that can help
Yeah.
run a site more efficiently in that. So not to go too much of a tangent, but I just wanted to paint the picture of like it's not
Right.
all
Right.
dim and gloom. There's other things you can do to help with the site that, if it is hard to make it pan out and it's looking like there's some realities that are little dark clouds. There are things out there. You just got to talk to somebody, quite frankly, to point those things out. So that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to have you on here today. So
That's
it's
cool.
fun.
Well, even like with call centers, when I started the call center business 20 years ago in storage, oh my God, we were doing fax machines, and we were faxing leads to stores, and you know
Wow.
now we can run the whole property from the call center. We can have an agent sitting in their backyard at the picnic table watching the birds sing, running a property just from their picnic table. So it's amazing what we're able to do, right?
No, yeah, that's been fun. In fact, I've been getting that more and more often lately of people wanting to talk about just exactly that, more of the efficiency tools and what they can run, not as a managerless office, but just
Yeah.
using more of the things that, help more the efficiencies like we talked about. So,
That's pretty cool.
well,
Well,
that's
thanks so much for letting me rant a little bit, Jim. I always love talking to you, talking shop with you, and it's fun doing it here too. So that's great.
that's good. Well, we'll have a new segment. Just we'll call it the Tron Rant.
The Tron rant. There you go.
I'll get you on. I'll walk away.
Yeah, yeah, really. Go get some coffee,
Good
Jim. Come
talk.
back.
I'll come back. All right, we're done. All right.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Tron. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
next.
Hey, I'll see you in Las Vegas, I think. So
Yeah.
I'll come have coffee with you at your morning session.
No, exactly. You just be me and you, I have a feeling. All right.
Hopefully not. So,
Thanks a lot. See you, man.
all right. Good to see you. Take it easy.
Thanks for supporting the show. I want to let you know that we've just opened up our brand new free private Facebook group. There I'll be having some extra special content not found anywhere else. If you really want your facility to be a success in today's market, then this is going to be the place for you. You can request to join us at selfstoragecommunity.com or search for Self Storage Domination Community on Facebook.